I'll put you in a trance. Let's party. Boogie in your body. Want that body, want that body. Make sure you don't hurt nobody. I say, hey, 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 feeling the fire with a burning desire. Yeah, get up off of that thing. Dance and shake and let's swing. Come on, let me rock the world.
Hey folks, this is Ming with Season 2 of the R&R podcast. R&R stands for Rambling Reggie'ites, as in, congratulations to Reggie for, like, after 15 years, I think?
Over
retiring.
a decade.
Yeah.
Over a decade of oppression. It's like,
No. Alright, here we have the usual cast, Trey Patterson.
My man forgot you.
What's up? I know.
Chavez Laguerre. What's up? And Roland. Just Roland.
Just rolling. You
I
made me
know
back now?
and just
I thought he was about to say Johnson, but he said Roland, just Roland. That was the next
Rolling,
one.
just be rolling. That's all I
Yeah.
do.
Season 2, guys. This is lit.
Yeah,
This is lit.
we moved over a little bit. We still play stuff on SoundCloud, but we go to Podbean a little bit now. Yes, the new
And we
that's
still
the new
procrastinate.
and we
It's like,
still
no.
ain't shit. It's the same old news, but still ain't shit. Well, Ming, what topics do you have for us today to discuss?
So today's topic is just a huge doozy for the anime community. I am talking about the Vic Mignogna sexual allegations that have been that he's been accused of. It's been like about a month since the first allegations were popping up. To get everyone up to speed from the beginning, the new Dragon Ball Super Broly movie came out back in January. And around, I think it was mid-January, about January 15th or 16th. There's an article out there that says that, oh wow, yeah, the Broly movie did really well. And all of a sudden, you have these people on social media, just bringing up the fact that, hey, Funimation, have you considered not sort of axing Vic Mignogna? I have a story from my friend saying that, he's been, for lack of a better term, a creep.
Mm-hmm.
And this pretty much, picks up steam with the anime community in general, and also a lot of, very well-known voice actors that we have grown to love over the years, and
Right.
it's just it's like a total shitstorm.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, so the timeline in terms of, really official statements, first it was the initial allegations on the 16th, then in February 5th,
The shitstorm began.
yeah, so the first thing that comes out is Rooster Teeth makes an announcement saying that, they've decided to discontinue, doing work with Vic Mignogna. I don't watch Ruby, but, the character that he voices, they found a different voice actor to do that.
Yep.
And then there you have all these this trend goes on with the hashtag #KickVic, and then sort of the really just steamrolling this guy. So many different stories and allegations are popping up. And then also to retaliate, you have the hashtag #IStandWithVic movement going on also. And oh my god, it is freaking absolutely insane what, pretty much the shit that is out there right now is a huge problem that I have with, modern day, activist culture.
Yep.
Where people think that they can just take power in their own hands on social media, being like, hey, this and this company, you should fire Vic, we should just ruin his life, dox him and stuff.
That shit right there. That's that type of stuff right there. I need to get closer to the mic. My bad. Was fucking bullshit. That type of stuff. My biggest problem with that type of stuff, like you were just saying, Ming, is this entire person's livelihood That's what's annoying. Like, people who are, I think me and Trey were having a conversation about this. Actually, I think all of us at some point was talking about this.
Yep.
Fucking the idea of guilty until proven innocent. Like, everything's been reversed. Like,
Yeah.
it's like people's court. There is no, like, let's wait to see what happens. Let's wait till the evidence comes out. Let's any of that. It's fucking people jumping right on the bandwagon. Like, I'm gonna let you get into, like, more of, like, the allegations and shit like that. But before we get to that, I was just saying, like, that's what's wrong with today. It's like, oh, I have social media. Oh, I have this. And to feel like you're a part of it, the first thing that people are doing, they're jumping on and they're like, you know what? I'm going to say something without thinking about how powerful their voices are and about what they're saying and what it could possibly do to another person's life. You don't know this person at all. All you know is that he voices a character of yours that you like, or he voices or whatever, but you're not thinking about how this is affecting his everyday life. You jumping on and going, yeah, that shit ain't right, and da-da-da-da-da-da. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just adding fuel to the fire, because what these companies, the people who hire them, they look for this shit, and they go, well, I mean, these other people are outraged. These other people are feeling this type of way. And the thing is like, let's say he's not guilty, right? Let's say he's not guilty.
Yeah, it's just in a scenario.
He loses every fucking thing. He has to pay for a lawyer.
Yep.
He not only loses like his going to be able to go to Comic-Cons and shit to make money, he also loses gigs and stuff like that. The only person that loses is the person that's accused, not the victim. Not, because my thing is this: I would say if
victim blaming is bad, Chavez. This is 2019. Victim blaming is not a thing.
It's fucked up. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the person that is saying that they're the victim, if you are in the same vicinity as them and you work in that same field, you need to stop out too, because while the investigation is going on, you need to lose your work too. And I think people, when that shit happens, they'll be like, hold up. Before I try to like run the gun with this, you know what I'm saying? Not saying, and this is not to take away from people who are real victims of assault and real victims of sexual harassment and shit like that. But those who aren't, or those who are trying to push the envelope because it gets them clout, it helps them feel better, it gets them followers, it gets them the pity party that they need, because in today's society, oh, if I'm a victim, I'm a fucking hero. And that's not what's supposed, like, no, like, if you're a victim, you defending yourself and coming out to actually help others so that won't happen to them makes you a hero. Not being the victim makes you a hero. You understand what I'm saying? It's fucked up.
No, I get you. I get entirely what you're saying on this. When it comes to when you brought up the point of victim, like who's the victim, what classifies as a victim. Now, again, we are not discrediting anything when it comes to actual really devastating like sexual assault, harassment, when it comes to just anything that garners any type of trauma. But, and here's my but, because I gotta put a but in here, but and in this case, what's going on with Vic, you're telling me that you're a victim of a hug? You're a victim of him maybe kissing you on your cheek? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting there saying that he's right, but there's people who have been raped and got pregnant from that shit and had to carry, they neither got abortions and all stuff. There's other mental, physical tolls that are taken in.
You can tell somebody stop that.
And you sit there and say, I'm a victim of a hug.
Because I'm uncomfortable.
Because you said, no, I don't want to be hugged.
Yes.
Let him know, hey, I don't want to be hugged. Now, here again, I'm not sitting there trying to validate. I'm not sitting there trying to validate. That's the main thing. I want to make sure I emphasize it's not you should do this and I'm blaming the victim 100% of the way. But I will say, you can see why he made his mistake of assuming that, he wanted to be, friendly. And, was, maybe gave a kiss on the cheek, maybe hugged you, whatever it is, because you were his fan. He think after the 100, he said it himself in his video, after fan 100 that wanted to hug, I thought fan 101 wanted one.
Yep.
Like that is just, it's just something where, yes, he was in fault for forgetting to ask. I will admit he was at fault for forgetting to ask. But to sit there and to say, okay, yeah, I survived a sexual assault from Vic and it was him hugging you.
At a Comic-Con where everybody can see.
Yeah, like, I mean, he pulled me backstage and grabbed me by my hair. What? What stage? Yeah. What are you talking about? But, I just don't agree with it like that. But go ahead, Trey. I was
going to say that they're treating him to the degree of like a Bill Cosby or a Harvey Weinstein. Like, Harvey Weinstein, he was the definition of, to me, sexual assault.
Oh, he was raping people.
Yeah,
He was
that
raping
too.
people. He
That
was
too.
raping
Yeah,
people. He was a fucking.
where he would be
You
like,
wanna
"Look,"
get spa, don't you?
he would be like, "Look,
Typical.
watch me, like take a shower,
Put my
take
wing
a shower and watch me just masturbate and stuff like that. And if you don't, I'm gonna blackball you from the business."
Yeah.
Vic isn't doing that. He's just like, he was like, "Hey, hey, I'm at Word Elric, the voice of him and whatnot. Like, hey, do you want a hug? Like, hey, whatever. Like, just being super friendly."
Yeah.
And as that may make, like the victims in this case uncomfortable, I don't think it warrants a witch hunt. I don't think that they should be wanting his head, on a stake and being like, this is the worst thing ever. Like, this guy he's a creep and he's all that. Like, yeah, okay, dude, if you're going around and you're being like a creep and you're like doing that and stuff like that, like, yeah, you're really friendly. Yeah, like, stay away from me.
Yeah.
But don't put him in the same category as a Harvey Weinstein or Bill Cosby, who, we know that he was putting like Spanish fly or whatever in girls' drinks. Like, that's what he was doing.
He's not.
He's not doing that.
He's not drugging people. He's not, he's not raping people in general. He legit was just like, hey, like, I know you're excited to see me. I want to make sure you get your, bang for your buck, because I don't know you like that, and you don't know me, but you know me based off my voice acting, off my career. So I know that me giving you a hug may make your fucking day. Hey, guess what? I got a hug from Vic Mignogna.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's never wrong. Vic Mignogna.
Yeah, I know.
Vic
his last name is like
Mignogna.
Vic Mignogna.
Mignogna. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna just call him Vic. So,
Yeah.
the other thing that popped up that people were saying, because I know it goes into other spectrums, and as you were saying about the witch hunt, like, people's careers get ruined for this, and then everybody's kind of like, oh, this is my chance to kind of get that, as you said, the clout, just to kind of bring in, shine a little bit of light onto what may have, what they might have felt was, important. Kind of getting my research for this. And in one of these comments linked me to, I forgot what page it was, but they were trying to say that he was like like he was homophobic. That's what it was.
Yeah,
they were saying he was homophobic.
Oh yeah.
And-
There's actually like a whole Google Doc out there, like on Reddit or something, that like sort of lists every single allegation against him.
really?
Yeah.
Well, oh damn shit! You should have linked that to me. but
There's a lot of shit in there.
But,
'Cause, like,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
but,
go ahead.
But with these allegations, there's so many like even if like he was guilty of some things, the ways that the activists are blowing this like totally up are absolutely insane. There's actually there was this article posted by, I believe it was actually Animated News Network,
Yes, it was.
where they used a picture of this one girl hugging Vic Mignogna, and they edited the photo so it made it look like that Vic was, like being creepy and like, kissing her on the cheek. But then after that article's posted, the owner of that photo calls it out saying, hey, no, this is the real photo. Like, how dare you, like, edit it so it fits whatever weird narrative you have. Amnesty News Network has since then, taken down that photo, of course, because, like, freaking bullshit, but, like, that's how insane these things are. There's also, like, other stories about, like, oh, man, like, just people pushing their own narratives, saying, like, oh, man, look, this person on Facebook, posts a bunch of photos of her door, like, kicked down and stuff, saying, it was the I Stand With Vic supporters that decided to swat me, and look all the damage that they did. And there are some figurative, like, some people in the voice acting community that, reacted this in not such a good light. I'll get into that later, but then moments later, people were digging through this person's history, and what she had actually done was she had used the same photos from 2 years ago when it was just sort of like, I guess a break-in incident. And it was like, wow, you literally on the same account, same photos, you just like wrote this story to fit this weird agenda that you're pushing. That like suddenly like everyone's at odds. Like, I mean, yes, everyone is at odds with each other, but people like are just loving to blow these totally out of proportion and making everyone think like, oh my god, these people are the evil ones.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's freaking
That's
insane.
messed up. That right there, like, that's what I'm talking about. This clout chasing generation that we are in. It's like these people are going out of their way to feel like, it reminds me of like, you know, when like, I'm pretty sure everybody has been in a high school at some point and who's listening, or if you're there now, and you know, you're in school and there's like this thing that's going around and like everybody's like a part of it. Like, oh man, I remember when this happened to me. It's like a bunch of teenagers telling like just trying to just chime into the sob story so that somebody else can be like, oh yeah, I value your point of view. And the reality is they never went through that. They're just trying to like, they just want to feel like they're a part of something.
Yeah.
And that's what's annoying me right now is like the backlash behind all of this. Like, what happens to those who are like pushing it? Like pushing that he's doing these terrible things, right? What happens to those people? Absolutely nothing. What happens to Vic? My man loses everything. And the reason I keep going back to this is because everybody's been around somebody at work or you know, I know too many women. There are a lot of women that I know that, well, shoot, there's a lot of women that everybody in this room probably know, but they don't know the severity of the things they have to deal with throughout their everyday life. You know what I'm saying? I know at least 75% of the women that I know in my life now, and everybody, you two can vouch, I know a lot of girls that have been touched or have been sexually assaulted in some way, whether it was minor to the big deal.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And they walk around with the toughest of skin. I'm so serious. These women walk around with the toughest of skin. And there are people that, if there's males listening to this, you know, look around. Look around. All the women in your life have probably gone through something. You know what I'm saying? And they probably never told you. Not that they have to. They probably never told you. You know what I'm saying? And they walk around with the toughest of skin. And that's what annoys me, is because the people who are stating these allegations and they're saying these things, right? They are talking about a fucking hug. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Women walk up and down the street while people whistle and lightly touch their ass, and you know what they all do? They all fight back in some type of way because they're like, don't fucking touch me, don't do this. Whether you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, I don't care who you are. If you're a woman, you're fighting back in some type of way. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you're with a friend that's going to be like, don't fucking touch her. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in your workplace and something's bothering you or something comes across a certain type of way, you can go, hey, yo, I'm not really comfortable with the hugs. That's how you defend yourself. And if it goes beyond the defense of that, then yes, that's assault at that point, because this person clearly doesn't care about your space. If you know what I'm saying? And my thing is that you're making it seem like, oh my God, this guy is you know, and the people at the people at the Comic-Cons, you're clearly excited. You're clearly excited because in the pictures you're smiling or whatever, but after the picture you could have been like, yo, look, next time can you not give me a hug or whatever? You can be honest.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And if he doesn't know that, how he's at fault in his one aspect, like you said.
Yeah,
Roland.
like, yeah, he explained that he was at fault.
I was at fault because I should have asked.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of all that, first off, I know too many people that's like him, who are Christian dudes, who are very, very like, they're loving. They're overly loving.
Yeah.
And that's their way.
That's actually the thing. Vic Mignogna is a very, like, traditional Christian man.
Yeah, like, he believes in spreading love, whether it's verbally or by giving you a hug and letting you know that God is with you. You know what I mean?
My bad. Stimming on that. So when I was like going through the homophobic comments about what were comments, but the homophobic allegation against them was because they said that he was what was it? He wouldn't sign fan artwork involving two male characters, that one of which he voiced. Pretty sure maybe it might have been over our host club or something like that. But they were like, hey, can you sign this? And he said, no, I'm not going to sign that. It's not canon. So everyone immediately jumped on him. Of course, you know how the LGBT works. And everybody that is a part of that or support it are already attacking him. Oh, you're homophobic, yada, 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 this, that. In reality, the shit that he was handed was basically porn. He was given porn to sign. It's like, sign this gay porn right now. No, I'm not gonna fucking do that. And then on top of it, when somebody was like, yeah, he is homophobic, yada, 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 somebody linked him a YouTube video of Vic defending homophobic people, convention goers against his own people, his own Christian people. And he was sitting over there citing verse for verse against them. And was like, don't talk to me about the scripture. I know the scripture. I know more verses than you do. And he's sitting over there going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with somebody who is one of those overbearing, if you don't do this, you're going to hell type of signs. Like, so
You're going to hell.
you're going to hell.
Yep.
So immediately you could tell that
Right.
him as a person, some people when they are the way that they are, like, side note, like R. Kelly, you could tell my man was a creep. And you can tell he's a creep because he would do remixes to his own songs with no one besides himself. See, that's what you
Well, there was also video evidence of the creepy stuff that R. Kelly did.
Yeah, and so it's like, okay, some people are bred and burned that or turned that way. I can understand that, and that's why I'm like, okay, yeah, this is this person's character. This is his MO. Vic has never had that MO of, I want to go and grab underage little girls and give them hugs and kisses and shit like that because I'm a pervert. I don't think that was going through his mind, you know? So
I think that Vic is the ideal target because of, you know, him being a conservative, straight white male. That's like, religious. That is like the ideal target because when people see that, they don't look at or they don't want to know what your personality is. They think one thing. They're just like, okay, this guy is probably homophobic. He's probably racist. He's against like atheist. Atheist. And they take these things and then they run with it. They're just like, all right, so you're my enemy. You know, I'm thinking this way, so you're obviously not thinking the way that I'm thinking. So there's something wrong with you. So we need to attack you. You have white privilege.
Yeah.
You know, everything that I believe in, you don't believe in. So if you do one thing, we're all going to attack you. You know? And I think I don't think it's right. Like me, I'm not a conservative. You know, I'm a little more left leaning. So I'm pretty sure, and I'm not going to like quote this, but my political views are probably different.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't warrant me to be like, you know what? I don't like this person. I think something's wrong with him. The way that he's going about things is wrong.
it's okay to disagree. That's
Exactly.
all it is. It's okay to have a different opinion on things.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm saying they're saying like, you know, if you coming around saying fucking Nazis rule. I mean, they ain't saying that, but you know, like if you feel that, for example, that you think the Dragon Ball Z movie, Broly movie was trash, I wouldn't agree with you, but I'm not gonna not be your friend. I'm not gonna not fuck with you. It's just I don't agree with you. You don't. The whole thing about seeing the difference or having differences in opinions is to see the other side
and learn from it.
Yeah,
because they might have a point that you might be missing.
Yeah, exactly. You just want to have an understanding between each other. Like that's the main thing, is to bridge the gap between each other so that you can understand how that person is or how that person feels. Not, okay, you don't agree with me, you obviously don't like it. I'm not trying to, the whole thing is people are always trying to push their weight around so they can try to change your opinion. And if you don't change your opinion, you're ignorant and you're misogynistic or you're fucking this and that. And it's just the most annoying thing in the world. And in this Vic situation, people are not understanding that, yes, I get, again, allegations are, they are there, but, and I want to make sure reiterate Chavez's point that people do not understand that his livelihood is gone, either guilty or not guilty, depending on which way he falls. His life is no longer the same, because even if he has every evidence in the fucking book pointing to him saying you are innocent by law, people are going to always sit there and say, nope, you are a rapist, or you are this, or you're that, and they're just gonna always have that in their mind no matter what. Your career is never gonna go nowhere no more, because guess what? You're affiliated, you're tied to this allegation no matter what happens, and it's the most bullshit thing in the world. And in my opinion, and this is my own personal thing before I pass it on.
Chavez.
In my opinion, right, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you are 100% in the right, or you feel you are 100% in the right and you have done nothing wrong, defamation should be immediately filed. I need to start seeing people. I need to start seeing people, accountable
Taking
for their
accountability.
actions.
Yes. Yep.
I'm tired of people. Oh, we don't victim blame in this culture. We don't do this. We don't do that. But my man's career is gone.
Yep.
So unless you start handing back jobs out, fucking start punishing these people that are sitting here trying to claim victim, and there's no evidence, or there's lack of evidence, or there's no way to prove 100% that they are at fault. I want years. I want prison times. I want something.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
So let me go into like some more nitty gritty
Wait, before you get into that,
detail.
just to play devil's advocate on how they think, and not that I agree with this because I don't.
No,
but
you need to hear it.
They say, oh, well, what about the people who they're struggling with this and they don't want to, and they're struggling to come forward, like they've been feeling uncomfortable about this for a while, or maybe it was a really traumatizing situation and they need time to come forward. We're not saying anything about those type of people because those people are strong. If you're dealing with that, you need to take your time. You need to come out when you're ready. But something to us, like as slight as like a hug or feeling uncomfortable for a second, I don't think that warrants the same type of compassion as the person that maybe went through something that's a lot more traumatizing. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Nick.
All right, so I just want to rewind us to get more nitty gritty details on this whole situation of why things are like this bad. Back at February 11th, Funimation actually did post an official statement on their Twitter saying that, after an investigation, we have decided to halt all business with Vic Mignogna.
I hate that shit.
But sort of the whole thing about that is that a lot of the people, the most notable one is Monica Rials, I think her
Rial, yep.
Rial, thank you.
Yep.
She voices Bulma in Dragon Ball Super, and she's one of the more vocal voice
Snakes.
actors in the industry that has been on Vic's ass about these allegations.
Yeah.
And not only that, people that we love, Chris Sabat. I think Sonny Straits is the Krillin voice actor, right?
Yes.
And Sean Shamil, I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah. They're all pretty much on Monica's side. We don't know their lives, so okay, they have the right to
they
have their own sort of their views.
Yeah.
But my big deal is that the way that these figures have acted through this whole instance looks extremely unprofessional.
Yes.
You have
Yep.
Monica saying on Twitter that innocent until proven guilty is only in the court of law.
Mhm.
And that's just on principle, I have such a huge issue with that kind of statement. Not only that, anyone that was even trying to remotely challenge her thoughts, it actually kind of became a pseudo meme
Yep.
where someone would challenge her thought and it's I have screenshot this and I'm sending it right to my attorney.
yeah.
Has thank you for your It's what the it's what I'm just asking you something. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, and
So is there gonna be a new season? I have screenshotted this and I'm taking it to my attorney.
and as you were saying, I was reading some of those comments as well, and I did notice that what was the one? Was it Funimation that said that they take stuff like this seriously when it comes to interacting with their fans?
Something like that.
Something like that, where they're we don't take any disrespect from our fans. We have a zero tolerance conducts, rules, and all this stuff. And I'm sitting over there looking, as you were saying with Monica Rial over
Your
here,
employee.
basically interacting as an employee of Funimation,
Yeah. Mhm.
talking shit to
Yep.
your fan base.
Yep.
But there's nothing done right now. There's
Mhm.
nothing. It's
Yeah.
just she gets free reign
Yeah.
Yeah.
because of the situation. She can pretty much.
That's
terribly biased.
It's because she holds high office in there. So I feel like she's using that power to kind of sort of have leverage to be able to say whatever she wants or do whatever she wants. Because there's no fear of consequence. She's not getting reprimanded for all the stuff that she's doing.
No, it's just getting screenshotted and just, hey, here you go. Fuck you, fans. You're getting blocked. I don't even care. Stand with me or get out. And stuff it's just fucking bullshit.
It's fucking bullshit. Let me remind you, folks. These are D-ranked celebrities. I say this not to be like an ass or whatever. I'm saying
You're fucking common. You're common equipment.
No, but if you think about it, maybe to like us and like certain individuals because we follow anime, they seem huge.
Yeah.
The reason why these people aren't getting in any real trouble, like if these were like B'ing up or C'ing up celebrities, somebody's following this shit. Somebody's looking at this shit. There's always somebody bigger looking at this shit. And because she's at like damn near like the top of Funimation, damn near in her office or whatever it is, like wherever she is, that's her whatever her standing is. Only person she got to answer to was Funimation. Like ain't nobody else popping up. Like there's nowhere else for her to get this work. There's nobody else that's like I'm gonna stop you from anime work. I'm gonna stop you from this. There's a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Like there's something bigger going on. You know what I mean? That's what I'm noticing. It's definitely something bigger going on.
Yeah, well,
there's a reason why they're trying to do this to him. First off, nobody goes out of their way to create fake evidence unless there's something to be gained.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And that's what I mean. Like this type of shit. This is what I was talking to these guys over the weekend about shit like this, and I was saying like even as us as consumers, people who pay attention to this shit, people who feel like like I should say something, you want to voice your opinion, whatever it is. We've got to stop fucking moving off of feeling. Just pure fucking feeling. That's the problem. It's too easy to throw your opinion out there. It's too easy to throw something out there without having everything figured the fuck out. And all it does is make the situation worse. And we don't even realize it. We don't even know how we're playing a part in it.
Irrational.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, irrational actions are still rational.
Exactly. Real shit, man. And that's what's annoying. Like the what's her name?
Monica
Monica
Rial.
Rial.
Yeah, like
Rial. Rail.
Isn't there like evidence out there that is like her like she was like she's like changing dialogue to go with her beliefs. I think she had like
there was
they-
evidence
they-
of
she's
her.
a feminist,
her.
right? She's like a hardcore feminist. There's a difference. Like I respect feminists. Like let me let everybody know here. I'm a feminist.
We with the
You know what I'm
culture.
saying?
Yeah.
We
We
with
the
it.
culture.
But there are two different types of feminists, and my girlfriend tells me this all the time. She goes, there are feminists who just fights for no fucking reason and don't know why they're fighting, and then there's feminists who actually want to see, women progress overall. Like, it's not just, they'll be like, like the girl who was throwing bleach on somebody because of how they're sitting. Like, on the train, like, because his legs were open, because he sits, like, with his legs open, and she's like, oh, I gotta fold my legs, you don't gotta fold your legs. She throw bleach on his pants or whatever. Maybe I sit like that because I have a dick and balls, and if I sit like that, it might hurt. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not built the same way as you, so if you want to sit that way, you can sit that way, but that's none of my business.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you, man.
Stop man-spreading, Chavez.
Yeah.
Damn.
maybe if you sit a better way.
Yeah.
But no, like I'm about to say, like, and I think a key reason a lot of people don't really fuck with Monica like that is because wasn't it like not even like a week prior to all this shit? It is like they released like a leak of an old photo she put up maybe during the rehearsal of Dragon Ball
like,
of her,
fake-ass shit.
Chris,
Yeah.
Sean, fucking everybody.
It was
I
during-
love you, everybody. Kissy face.
It was during the
Blah, blah, blah.
release, the American release of the movie.
Yeah, and they were like going over scripts together,
Yeah.
talking about how much you're greater of friends. But then a week later, all of a sudden,
Change
y'all
your
start
tone.
beefing and oh yeah, this person
Yeah.
XYZ, this that.
It
and
really
then on top
made
of it-
me lose respect for a lot of those.
I'm done watching dub.
I'm saying, and then on
Everybody's
top of
losing their
it,
job.
they sat there and you started kind of seeing like certain job availability starting to appear, right? And then people start feeling these job availabilities once Vic got removed. Some people probably Monica Rial's cool with, if not Monica Rial herself. Like you started seeing, like there was a thing. It was like an article that showed that she changed her occupation a little bit when they were Twitter or something like that. Like she's going around altering, making power moves behind this entire time, as well as, oh, I'm gonna crush Vic the entire time. And let's be real here. Anybody that's good at something or great at something is gonna have a bunch of people that fucking hate him. You could take this tangent and go to fucking basketball for a second. I'm gonna do a little tangent basketball. LeBron is a generational athlete. Generational. Fucking monumental. Amazing. But LeBron has people that I'm pretty sure will like wish that nigga would just fall. Hey man, I don't like this nigga. I hope he falls. I gotta figure out a way. And people are gonna always go find something of it is, maybe dig up something in the past. Hey, I found out he was white facing or some shit. I don't know. But you're sitting over there, see what I mean? Like, Vic's been dominant in his field for years. for years. Maybe his range ain't as great as it should be, but for years. That's the main thing. And people who voice acting just as acting in general, because Chavez can understand what I'm talking about with this, because he is in that field. He knows that actors are gonna try to do whatever it takes to get their fucking job.
They will. And you know what's sad about this is the brotherhood that you're in once you become an actor. If you're not an actor and you're listening, one thing I can honestly say, if you're a genuine actor, when you meet other people who are doing well, you're excited for them because that means that somebody you know is getting that much closer, and that's good for everybody. Because if you're cool with them, 9 out of 10 they be like, look, they might never be able to get you that super huge role that gets you everything that you could possibly dream of, or help you go from working a 9 to 5 to being able to do what you love to, you know what I mean, full time. But that notion or wherever they might bring you might be the difference between you knowing somebody and not knowing somebody, and that could be the difference. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like with these voice actors and shit like that, like for her to, or I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but if that is the case, if that's what she's doing to bring down a fellow actor, you know what I mean, or a fellow person of that brotherhood, you know what I mean, that's really, really fucked up. That is the darkest thing that you can do as an actor. Yeah. That's like, karma's a motherfucker, and I'm gonna be real with you. Like, let me say my catchphrase. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You said that. You already said that before.
Say it again.
You said at the beginning of the paragraph.
Oh shit! Like that right there. Like the karma that's going to come for that woman is going to be crazy, and I really hope that it really like when it comes. She really gets what she deserves if she's doing this behind his back to fuck him up. You know what I mean?
So with that, also she said this has been happening for over a decade. Wait, not done yet. Since she said this has been happening over a decade, she said she talked to him and that she addressed it, but he basically, shrugged it off, as well as was hushed by other voice actors that not worry about it. So now, questions arise. What are the voice actors that are involved that told you to shush? Yep. Why didn't you step forward? Doesn't that make you accountable for the situation that kind of happens? Like, where is the, and we go back onto when is the victim not the victim anymore if they are involved and they were aware for years, decided not to say something, finally step up and say something, and now they're a fucking hero. I don't think that's how it works, right?
It's that whole thing, and like I said, I'm playing devil's advocate again, and not because I don't believe it, but they do it because they're afraid of, like that they'll lose their job. Like the person up at the top, they'll be like, "Oh, I don't like this," and everyone sides like a union against them, and then she's out of the business. But that, like I said, that's the unpopular opinion.
So you're gonna choose work over your dignity?
Yeah. What is your price?
Because
that's what I'm saying.
Because if you're a feminist, you leading by example. I don't care what it is, whether you were a feminist today or you was feminist 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. You should have been a feminist all the way through.
There you
know what I'm saying? So my thing is that I'm not going to lose my dignity. I don't care what's going on.
Take your integrity and just
your
go.
Your integrity is everything. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have that, then like. You're okay.
You obviously can be bought.
Yeah, you can be bought. You can be bought. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like you're clearly moving the way that you're moving in that business because you know that it's cutthroat. So if you're moving like that because you know it's cutthroat, then you're doing whatever it is to cut him down to get up to the top. But does that make you any better than him? If that's the case, if that's how things were happening,
deep breath.
Like,
deep breath.
I'm just saying, like, does that make you? You know what I'm saying?
Does that make you a hero?
Yeah,
right?
Like,
no,
that's not a hero. Like you're the very definition of the very thing that you say you don't freaking like.
It's starting that whole cycle of getting in a position and doing anything you can to keep that position. And then I'm pretty sure with new female voice actors and stuff like that, she's going to act a certain way now. And it's going to be a cycle that repeats itself. Mm-hmm. So a perfect example is if we go into rap culture, right? Uh-huh. Nicki Minaj, take her as like a Nicki Minaj, right?
Okay.
Who's been dominant in her field and everything like that. And kind of, exactly. And kind of sort of like, blackballing all the other ones so you could stay in that position. Mm-hmm. And then when a new person comes up, you're going to try like Cardi. And you're just going to keep doing things and be like, oh, like, you're not going to get up here and stuff. But then if something happens and that person takes your role, and then it's just like, now what are you going to do? And I feel like she took this whole thing from Vic because she's taking a lot of like work from him and stuff like that. But she's going to get hers. Someone else is going to come up there and someone's going to take her position.
Yeah, everything done in the dark gonna come to light. That's what my man Cole said, right? But before I let you take over real quick, I know we've been pretty much keeping you out, and I do apologize. I wanted to go over the Todd Haberkorn accusation as well.
I knew he was good.
Yeah, damn right we're doing it. I need them tags, nigga. So, all right. So back around January 30th or so, like that, I believe Todd put out a statement that was saying that he engaged in sexual intercourse with a well-known cosplayer, I believe by Jesse Pridemore.
Okay.
So what happened was, Jesse, who is one of the accusers on top relating to Vic, because she accused Vic of grabbing her by the hair and all that stuff, saying, I know you like it, slut, So she actually came out with the allegation at the time, or accusation, that she had she was sexually assaulted, or she was drunk. She got drunk, went to a hotel, was sexually assaulted, woke up naked, or it is, and XYZ. So what happened was Todd actually beat her to the punch by releasing his statement saying that he engaged in sex because he was with one of his friends, and she was there, and they got drunk, and he fed her more drinks, and he took her back to the crib. He did his thing. He thought at the time it was consensual. Of course, obviously everybody always thinks it's consensual. But the main gist on this is why wasn't his information put out there with this? In fact, when I came across the article, I thought I linked it to you guys, but apparently I did not. And me looking for it again, you won't even know Todd Haberkorn has an accusation unless you look up Todd Haberkorn, Vic Controversy, and it relates to each other. That one of the accusers is related to a situation that she described was with Todd. And Todd beat her to it, and then put out and there were screenshots of him conversing with somebody who was a close friend with her, showing he was like, oh, yeah, I see what's going on with Vic's situation. And this is on Todd's side. Todd is saying that he sees what's going on with Vic's situation and how he essentially wants to not go down like Vic. And he's like, just because she has buyer's remorse. And I remember reading the text. He said, just because she had buyer's remorse over a decade ago, I'm not letting that bitch get basically fucking bring me down. So not only is he the one that she described in one of her telltale stories, on top of it, there are screenshots of him conversing with another colleague that I'm not going to go down from this bitch's buyer's remorse. And there is nothing going on his side.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell Roland loves Todd.
It's really
Todd
all about, like, it's the bandwagon. Like, that's really what this is. Okay, so one of my main things is that regardless of guilty or innocence, between the two parties, like, in terms of professionalism, the stuff that has been on Vic's Twitter feed, or his whatever, I don't know what you call it. The statements that he's been putting out have been all very professional, very like, hey, like, it makes it very difficult to see this guy in like such a horrible light when he's like, when you see his posts that are like, oh, like, these past couple of days have been really difficult, but please, like, no one on either side send death threats. I didn't know that there was like this much animosity between me and my colleagues. He only wishes for the best of them. I think it was like just yesterday where he did like post another statement saying that he is reluctantly pursuing legal action. Like, and he's saying that it's because, like, hey, if I want to, like, not just have my career completely destroyed for the rest of my life, like, this is what he has to do. One thing that I will, so even though we've been, like, sort of flaming on Monica Rial One thing that I will give her
Who's
props
not our
for
Bulma.
is that
The plug.
is that I recently she also put out a very long statement that is a lot more like professional and like sort of not really going after anyone's statement. So it was like, okay,
Is it after Vix?
She probably hired a legal team
I mean,
who
so
told her to do this.
she posted this pretty much after
That's it.
Vic announced that he was pursuing legal action. So there's the conspiracy theory. But no, like it's always like give props to the people who can like take a step back, no matter what side they're on, that they like can actually have a professional statement like, hey, like don't wish harm upon anyone. It's just like you have your story. Don't be an activist for like all this bullshit that's going on.
Yep.
Man, yeah. The
Oh, look at you losing your train of thought.
I
She
am.
got you riled up.
I am pretty riled up. Just because, like, it's just it's absolutely horrible how much the public believes that they should be involved with cases like this. I mean, if it were in my ideal world, it'd be like, okay, here are the allegations. Here is the person being accused. Have it all brought into the like their own like private world, like in court, and have like actual professionals like deal with this. Don't have people like just spreading stories and then like other counter stories, and it's like because then at that point it's like people are just saying words and you don't really know who to believe. There's like so many stories that either corroborating or like just like completely disprove what is being said.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
got it off your chest a little bit. You got
It's
it
all right, man.
But yeah, like it's just definitely one of those things where it's again that there's reasons why there is a legal system.
Yes. Yep.
And I don't care that people feel certain ways if evidence that has been researched and has been investigated and whatever other word I can think of, and there's nothing that comes back to this person being guilty of whatever action they participated in. Again, by law, they are innocent bystander. And if Vic in this situation is proven to be innocent, I personally believe he should be fucking reinstated. Now, the issue is people are again going to be upset, and obviously they're not going to want to do that. So we may not see Vic. We may not see Vic for at least 5 years.
Well,
they're gonna. Oh, go ahead.
Hold up. Actually, there are some studios out there who have been vocal and like, hey, like our voice cast includes Vic Mignogna. We're fully aware of his sexual allegations, but we're like is totally supporting him in like his career. So at the very least, you do have companies out there that are willing to like support the guy.
Well,
so that's good.
Yeah, Funimation is bringing him back for the second season of I forgot what anime it was, like Monochrome or something.
Yeah,
but then they said that after that he's gonna go. Like they were like, all right, we're gonna just do you for this part, and then we're gonna part our ways.
That's what I'm saying. Like that.
What does Eric Vale think? That's what I care about. What my man Eric Vale, Trunks voice? What he up to? I ain't see shit. He's up there in the or Glenn Fukunaga. What the fuck he up to?
I'm a little irritated about that because, like, okay, so now he's not gonna have, work like we're saying here. You know what I mean? And see that's why people need to do like what Breezy did. Get a shirt saying that bitch lying. And sell that shit. That Bulma lying.
I think the difference
Vic has
is
been doing a very good job of staying professional.
Yeah, well, also the difference is that Vic acknowledges that, hey, maybe I did hug somebody who didn't want to be hugged. So he's acknowledging that he was at fault.
But that's,
that he's done some things.
That's called accepting. That's called accepting. Your downfalls. Basically, stepping up to the plate when you know you've done wrong. And if that's the case, that's where we should have ended it right there. It didn't have to go this far. It didn't have to go to, oh man, we gotta completely, stop everything. F that. You gotta take this. You gotta take that. And these are people who don't have anything that's saying this.
Leave the jobs to the professionals. Like they said that there was an investigative team, like doing their job. Let them do their job, and and that's it. Like, you stay out of it. Don't
Exactly.
start like pulling out your account from 10 years ago. Like, I remember I was at a con and me and Vic made eye contact.
He stared at me viciously.
Exactly.
When he was signing my picture, he kind of grazed my hand a little bit. I survived. Shut your ass up.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're a survivor now.
Yeah,
Like, it's just like get out of here. It's
you ain't
just a
survived
hug.
shit.
You
know
were
what you survived. You survived being at a con with a bunch of other freak ass motherfuckers that would have.
You survived the stench of a con. That's the fuck you survived. And you know them niggas be balling. It's like, but
If anybody's ever been to a con, let me tell you, anybody who's ever been to a con, an Otakon or whatever con you've been to, them shits is freaky. I don't care what nobody got there gonna say. There are people walking around, they cosplay, they get drunk, and they start acting real nasty. All right, so if you survived anything, you survived a con. Okay, cons it's a freak fest for people who don't get to be themselves often.
Oh God.
so let's say, Ming, is there anything else you'd like to add about the Vic situation exactly? Because I know I wanted to kind of talk about the, I wanted to throw in the My Hero Academia accusations.
Oh
as well.
my God, that pissed me off.
Is this the thing about what happened, like the whole Jump Force thing?
No. It's
It's about sexual harassment.
It's trickling into anime now. I'm fucking done.
Okay,
now before it was
so I'm pretty much done with the whole like sort of my 2 cents on the Vic Mignogna situation. So I'll let you go into your thing, but the really funny, it was probably just like rage clickbait, but there was like this pseudo outrage of like Jump Force cutscenes. They all suck, by the way.
Oh, this is a funny one.
It's the one where Deku is like his intro cutscene versus Piccolo, and it's like, oh my god, he must be a villain. And everyone's like, oh my god, Deku was racist. Wait a minute, what? No, like literally, like what? It's like he's racist because of the color of his skin. It's like, no!
It's because
No.
you know, Ming. Unfortunately, on the black culture, because you exclude on this part on the black culture, Piccolo a
delegation.
nigga. Piccolo a black nigga. Yo, that's why it's like they view it as, you know, oh, you're racist against black.
Speaking
my
of
freaking
Jump
God.
Force, you know, before we jump all over to Roland's topic is
Jump
before
right
we jump.
into
Oh,
it.
you see what I did?
We
there?
forcefully
No.
jump.
Jump right into it.
Apparently there was also outrage that there isn't a lot of females in Jump Force,
Oh yeah.
which makes no sense
That's
because
kind of like a no
it's
shit Sherlock.
shonen
Yeah.
Jump, which is for young boys.
Yeah, it's a very like no shit Sherlock kind of thing.
This
where it's
isn't
like,
shoujo Jump Force. This is shonen Jump Force.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really stupid.
yeah, just fucking outrage clickbait. Anyway,
Hey, go
Roland.
ahead.
Alrighty, so just to give you guys just a real brief description of what the accusation is. So there was a advertisement, I believe, or a little small snippet of Deku and I believe Bakugo fighting a particular villain. Now I haven't seen it. I'm going based off reading an article. So maybe I may be a little bit wrong, but from what I was told was they got tied up or they got, restrained.
The dude has a power
Yeah.
that restrains your body. Like, you can still talk and stuff, but his whatever his quirk is, it restrains your body.
Yeah. So what happened was he essentially started making some uneasy advances on Deku and Bakugo.
Wanted them to take pictures.
Yeah,
He wanted to put them in certain positions and take pictures or whatever, and then
Is this spoiler territory?
No, it's not a part. It's not a part of season
It's
4.
not-
It's just like a
okay, okay.
standard.
This isn't
They're
even-
random
it's-
thing.
it's an add-on. You know, when you buy like Blu-rays, Blu-ray versions of like the
Behind the scenes
behind
or
the
something
scenes, whatever.
like
It's
that.
like-
It's not like
extra-
special
it's-
edition
it's-
type
it's-
of
It's
thing.
a special episode. Yeah.
So, I believe Bakugo was like, what the hell are you? Kind of like a pervert, call him a pervert and shit like that. And he's like, I'm not a pervert. But then at the same time, I believe he cut his shirt open.
He cut his shirt open, and and then he was like, because I guess something along the lines of, oh, I'm gonna do worse to you. And before things can get out of hand, they got out of it. Typical anime style.
Yeah, typical.
Typical anime style. But the problem was that they were saying that they were being, what was it, easy, like not easy, but they were saying like they were basically, they were going over the sexual harassment aspect like very, very like vaguely, like it was like, oh, like you're kind of like just using that as whatever, you know what I mean, instead of like what it is, you know what I'm saying, like they weren't sticking to the fact that it was like I don't know how they worded it. It was basically you're using sexual harassment in such a way that's disrespectful to people who have been sexually harassed, basically. And it was like, no, it's a part of the narrative. And the reason, I mean, what were you about to say about it, Roland? 'Cause I was about to go on.
I know you're about to get ready to go in. The next thing I was about to ask, essentially, once they got over it, is like, kind of like how you feel about that. I mean, obviously, that's basically it. You can continue your description. I just wanted to see what you guys think about them adding these type of situations in anime, and then people of the activists, as you claim, they're getting upset about certain things that are shown in anime now, and now they're basically going to, in my mind, I'm thinking they're going to start altering and causing story problems because guess what? That was fucking written that way for a reason.
I'm about to watch this shit in Japanese and say fucked up, 100%. Like I'm about to be like completely done with it. Like I was already losing my faith, but like this shit is getting out of hand. Like and the reason I'm irritated about the whole My Hero Academia thing is, the thing is about shonens, and if anybody fucking pays attention and you realize this when you were growing up with it, the reason why we love these shonens and shit like that is because they offer real life lessons. Whether you see it right away or not, there are real life lessons. There's real issues that they try to implement into it in certain ways without it being too much. You know what I'm saying? First off, this is on a special edition DVD of My Hero Academia, right? And we all know with special content, it's considered uncut. Uncut content means that they get to stretch the envelope just a little bit more because they know with the regular show they probably can't. You get what I'm saying? So now you have two male characters about to be sexually harassed by a creep, a villain. This stuff can happen.
He's a fucking villain.
He's a fucking villain.
He's not fucking Jerry from down the street. It's a fucking villain.
But he's a villain.
He's doing bad shit.
He's doing what a bad guy would do, like some other shit, and like that's what he uses his powers for. This is what he particularly does. I'm sorry. There have been other shows, like we all know, Hunter.
Perfect example.
Like we know that. Whatchamacallit's brother? What's his name?
What are you talking about? Because all I know is Ahsoka as the pervert.
Well, yeah. It was the dude with the red hair.
It's Ahsoka.
Yeah. But that's whatchamacallit's brother.
Who's brother?
No.
Oh no. That's not
no.
his brother. That's
Cite your sources.
I think I know what you were getting at. You were getting at Key Lewis' brother, but that's Hisoka's friend,
That's
or
Hisoka's
his
friend,
his partner or whatever.
Yeah, they're colleagues
yeah.
if anything.
Yeah.
So really quick, my 2 cents on the My Hero Academia. Because I'm only hearing about this for the first time from like your description, I'm having a hard time like visualizing it for myself. But like, is the scene intended to be like kind of humorous in that way? Since like
No.
Bakugo says like.
No, he was just like, apparently he was like, you're a pervert. It didn't get anywhere. Like, it wasn't like they showed him like getting forcefully taken down or something like that or anything like that to where he was sexually harassed. It was like, it was as simple as like, the dude was like, oh, like it was supposed to be like, I'm a creep. Like it was building the definition of this character without really having to go into a backstory. It was like, yeah, okay, well, if I'm a pervert, then I'm gonna do this. And then the dude was just like, he was like, yo, like, what's wrong with this guy?
Well,
you know what I mean?
So just an interesting tidbit in here is that if you obviously if you listen to this, you watch anime, and if you watch anime, you came across a lot of homosexual characters throughout the time frame. Did you realize that in those animes, those homosexual characters typically aim towards the younger protagonist? About like 90% of the time. I don't know the exact numbers like that because obviously
Orochimaru.
I mean, exactly.
I'm just saying like they all.
I want that body, Sasuke.
All homosexual characters.
yeah, like,
so it's just something in a situation where it's like, okay, it's across all cylinders, and it doesn't get to that realm of. Oh yeah, and he pulled out his big fat dick. Like it doesn't get that. It doesn't get that far. Unless you watch hentai. Unless you watch hentai, because there's some shit out there that don't fall for the Boku no Pico. Don't fall for the Boku no Pico. But I'm just saying, in this situation, my own personal preference on this is that I'm now worried because of back when we were younger, and I don't want to go too far on tangents. Back when we were younger, anime wasn't as mainstream as it is now. Mm-hmm. It wasn't. It was something that you seek, that you had to know about or was introduced to.
It was like
and that was club. It was like it was like a closed society, a soul society.
You didn't even know if it was that it was anime either.
Yeah, you didn't know it was anime. You think it was just cartoons.
Yeah, I was just.
But now because it is so common in this generation to be an anime fan, that means that everything generic, everyone now is anime fans. Everybody now wants to be
on for this shit back in the day. You walked past, they was like, "Nigga, what you watching? This nigga ain't DBZ." And you sitting there with a black eye trying to figure out why you got beat up.
You got beat up because of anime. That's fucked up. You should learn how to fight. But yeah, like, so because it's now mainstream, now anime, especially with like series like Attack on Titans, obviously My Hero Academia, Hunter x Hunter,
Soul Eater.
Soul Eater's been out for years. I'm like, fuck all that. I'm talking about the current stuff right now. Soul Eater was still kind of like, it started that transition period, but now, Black Clover, Boruto, stuff like that. All this is now like this vast grouping that everyone's a part of now. No one's isolated. And because of that now, you have a whole bunch of people trying to force their goddamn, political views or sights on what they deem to be loud in a series. So now everyone's like, okay, well, because it's a vast group now, we got to start taking it to the masses. The masses don't like, because this is how it's going to happen. They're going to be like, the masses don't like gay characters attempting to assault.
Masses or masses?
So,
it's bullshit. And it's going to cause problems. Now, in Japan, not going to cause problems. But when it gets adapted to the dub side, it's going to cause problems.
I think
things are going to be taken out. Jokes are going to be missed. Story plots are going to be missed.
I think it's going to get messed up regardless.
No. So here's the thing. Like, so from what I know, there are some voice actors in Funimation that actually do like alter the script based on their own like sort of weird like political agenda. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's already happened.
They got to make things fit with voice acting. I'm not saying they're validating that, but sometimes certain lip syncing is off, so they have to alter some of the stuff. But they also go through, as you say, some of the footage. Yeah, and they alter this stuff. And again, like over in Japan, they try to push that agenda over in Japan. How do you feel about these allegations going on with XYZ on the series, especially with the My Hero Academia? I think that was what I was talking about. And they were like, we don't have any allegations, we don't have any of that information.
Yeah, I'm
not saying that they don't take assault there seriously. Mm-hmm. It's just it's a non-issue. Yeah,
because here's the thing: in any piece of fiction, like, I think that depending on what kind of narrative you're trying to tell, like, go ahead and like just write about like any sort of weird crime, sexual assault, or like, cause like the some of these plot points are written on purpose to like really rile up the audience, be like, oh my god, I really want the main character to come out on top. For example, Berserk, there is a moment like later on where
spoiler, don't do it.
Sexual assault actually like happens like maybe very frequently.
It's very common, very common.
So
in
it's like one of the things
in
is
front
like
of you.
One of like the first like, original like origin stories of Guts, the main character, is that like being born into a family of mercenaries, like he had to learn how to fight for himself at an early age, and the thing that he was faced with is that his dad actually like sold him to some like big ugly guy to like get fucked, and is like, no, I don't want to get fucked. So he overcame the odds and he killed the guy. And like, like even though it's like a fucked up situation, it's like, no, like it's fiction. Like this is like a plot point to really like sort of give you a view to like how this person got motivated, why they're motivated. Yeah.
The main thing you got to look at it on that aspect, and by all means, we obviously sexual assault again, serious matter. Don't look at it for like what it is. Look at how these people, or in this case, these fictional characters, got out of their situation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like they were thrown shitty odds that happened in their shitty life, and they turned their shitty situation around. Mm-hmm. Look at it from that standpoint, not he got fucked, or this girl got raped, or you're looking at it just like purely for what it is. Rape scene, fuck that. Everyone attack.
Yeah.
Instead of this person got out of this situation, even though, like, because of XYZ factors.
That's what we in the business calls being a snowflake.
You know, it's weird. People like the good kind of grooming, like the Gon and Killua kind of like their bromanship. You know what I mean? But when it's the other way around, like Orochimaru, like Orochimaru and Sasuke, that's been a thing for years. You know? And people are like, oh no, we don't really got a problem with it, but with this, everyone does. And I think it's just the change of time and the mindset that everyone has. It's weird.
I mean, look at fucking Haikyuu. Just Baby Crow and his homie. And it's just like, oh my god, here we go. Like it doesn't like it's annoying. It's annoying. It's really annoying. You can't call it one way and then not call it another. You know?
Yeah. So with that, we want to give another shout out to Reggie. My body is ready. Fisame.
Nobody was ready for his retirement. Nobody was ready.
We weren't like. I know me personally, as being a huge Nintendo fan, I'm gonna miss
Boo, fuck Nintendo.
No. But no, I'm definitely gonna miss him. He was fun. He was funny.
I think my man is leaving because
You know who's taking him over?
You know,
Because Bowser's taking
yeah,
over.
exactly. Bowser's taking over.
Bowser.
But does anybody
Junior.
have any last tidbits that he would like to add?
I have one
before?
too.
Okay.
Jussie Smollett. We hate you. You ruined my Black History Month.
You ruined Black History Month. You fucked with gay people. Like you just completely fucked it all up.
Everything went backwards because of you. And yeah,
How you
I
set
hope-
two cultures behind?
Guinness World Record.
Guinness Book of
Yeah,
Records.
but I mean that's it. I mean I have no sympathy for him, and yeah, you ruined my Black History Month.
Well, main thing on my side is stop claiming to be a victim if all you did was get hugged. I think that you are throwing light of actual victims.
Mm-hmm.
I do not agree with what they're doing to Vic. I don't agree what they're doing to anime. I just think that, you know, in his culture, in his time, whatever it is, unfortunately, I don't see a change in the future. I don't see it until somebody get their shit together. So,
File defamation if somebody's trying to ruin your life. And for those who aren't a part of these issues or those who have had issues in the past and you hear something that you can possibly relate to, do yourself a favor and don't move off of feeling, move off of facts. Wait until things are completely figured out before you make your statement, because your statement could be the thing that could cause a lot of issues. You know what I'm saying? With the investigation of whatever it is. Unless you have some evidence that ties you to the scenario, that's the only time you should be talking. If you're not tied to it, shut the fuck up and just watch how things play out.
And no matter which side you're on, sending death threats is not cool.
Sonic says that's
not-
no
I know,
good.
Yeah, that's no good.
Oh wait!
It's
Before we
no
go, Ming, you did have a point earlier, and you said you'll get to it.
Oh, that's
of the one person who got mad over tweets.
Oh yeah, freaking Sean Shamil, like he like had a full meltdown over like being called a beta male for like supporting Monica, and he just like lost all of his shit. So yeah, that's the voice of Goku.
It's like okay, it's like she's not our Bulma, but you're our Goku. Do better.
Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, this is R&R.
We're gonna hit him while he's
signing
down.
out. Signing.